Deputy Finance Minister David Masondo has described the latest GDP figures as the worst economic performance since the 2008-9 global economic recession. He said this is evident in the rising unemployment rate. Masondo was speaking at the Black Business Council's annual summit underway in Midrand. The two-day event provides the public with the opportunity to engage with leaders of business and government on pertinent issues affecting the economy and the country at large. Let's get more on this now. Our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa is standing by in Midrand. A very good afternoon to you, Mbalenhle. What kind of discussions have been taking place at the Black Business Summit?
Good afternoon, Nzinga. We've had a number of conversations essentially talking about the challenges that businesses face and what policies need to be improved or worked on in order to create an enabling environment for business and for entrepreneurs as well as small, medium enterprises. However, we also had the Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. David Masondo, talking about the economy and the fact that the country has slipped into a recession, saying that this is the worst performance, this is the worst growth we've seen since the 2008 recession. He also spoke about government's efforts to try and remedy that situation. He spoke about the wage bill, the public service wage bill, and he talked about how government is actually making strides with regards to reducing government spending, saying that the public servants are not the only ones who are going to bear the brunt of cutting government cost spending, and that civil servants are also going to see a few of their benefits taken away. This is also that they cut government spending, and this is something that ratings agencies are actually going to be looking at quite closely. Another thing that he spoke about was the state bank. We know that President Cyril Ramaphosa made the announcement at the SONA address where he introduced the idea and the concept of a bank, and he essentially expanded on that, talking about how this bank would help the missing middle, and he described the fact that the missing middle are unable to buy property or even take their own children to school as a failure, market failure by the big banks in South Africa, and they'll be essentially trying to bridge that gap and trying to provide financial products to the missing middle. But the other thing, speaking of banks, the Black Business Council has also made a resolution last year about setting up and establishing a black bank. But here to talk to us about how that is going is the BBC's General Treasurer, Mbalenhle. Thank you so much for speaking to Thank you so much for speaking to us. Please talk to us about what strides you've made since the previous year. We understand that this was a pronouncement made at this very summit last year. How far have you come till since then?
Thank you, Mbali. We've made a lot of strides since the last year's summit. We have set up a task team, which is headed by myself, made up of attorneys, corporate finance advisors, as well as bankers who've actually advised on some of the biggest banking deals in this country. And we have identified two targets, but I'm not at liberty to mention them. In fact, I had a meeting with one of the potential targets last week, Friday, looking at how transactions would be done and a deal would be struck. So basically what we want to do is to acquire an existing bank and use that as a platform in order to be able to launch the products that we're looking at that are geared solely at black-owned businesses and SMMEs, specifically with the bias towards women-owned businesses and youth-owned businesses, which have been on the outside for a while. And we've also had engagements with the Reserve Bank to pretty much appraise them of what we're trying to do. And they supported wholeheartedly, noting that one of the mandates of the Reserve Bank is financial inclusion, which it hasn't done well on. But we are firmly on the march with regarding to this. We know it's not going to be a short process. It's going to be a relatively mid to long-term process. And we're committed to ensuring that by the term of the leadership, by the time that the term of this leadership of the Black Business Council comes to an end in 2021, would have made strides, either having almost completed it or leaving it in the hands of leadership that can be able to actually complete the work.
And will you be doing anything with regards to banking the unbanked?
Definitely. That is one of the reasons why this came out as a resolution so strongly in the previous year, because being banked does not necessarily mean getting a transaction account. It means that even the products that you are getting, what type of products are you getting? Because most of our members are not getting the products that you would expect a bank to be giving a business that is still starting up, or a business that is developing into a medium or even a larger business. So we are saying that we are looking at the unbanked not necessarily as a strata of society that doesn't have accounts at all, but what products are people getting in order to be able to really participate meaningfully in the economy.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. There you have it, BBC Treasurer talking to us about General Treasurer rather talking to us about the Black Bank and its establishment and the strides they've made since last year. We will keep an eye out for that and just take a listen in on what other progress is going to be coming up during the course of the year. But for now, it's back to you in studio.
Mbalenhle Mthethwa from Midrand there. She's going to continue giving us updates from that summit. Let's take a look.